Buddy, welcome to today. So this stream is going to be turned into a video I'm going to be posting on YouTube because I want to start, uploading some YouTube content here and there. The Overwatch devs released an update about 45 minutes to an hour ago, and I'm super excited about it. We got a lot of information going on, so let's just get right into it. Oh shoot, hold on, give me 1 second. I need to fix my headphones. I knew I was forgetting something. Sometimes I just try to go too quick, Okay.
Hi everyone, this is Jeff with the Overwatch team. Really excited to be back here in 2020 for our first developer update. So everyone on the Overwatch team listens to and gets a ton of feedback about the game, and we love hearing from you. And in the past few months, I would say, this isn't based on science, but there are two topics that come up the most, that we hear of the most. One is, what's the team's philosophy on balance, and could the team balance the game more frequently and or better? That comes up a lot, like a lot of discussion about the balance of gameplay and hero balance. And then the other thing that we hear a lot of feedback and comments on is the concept of the meta of the game. What heroes are played, are there other heroes that are viable to be played at any time? And what could the Overwatch team do to make sure that the meta was moving along more fluidly and more frequently? So I want to spend today's developer update talking about some things that we're doing very soon that will address these 2 points, balance and the meta. So let's start with balance. I think everybody's interested in balance in some way or another. In the past, the Overwatch team has faced some criticism for being a little bit slow when it comes to our balance patches.
A little.
We've often heard that players want to see balance more frequently. They want us to try more things. They want us to be more aggressive with changes. They want us to be willing to revert changes that the community perceives as not being good. We have tried to use the public test realm in the past to test some balance changes, but as you know, things stay on the PTR, the public test realm, for quite some time. And we don't always make a lot of dramatic changes once something makes its way to the public test realm. We have something that I think is really cool and really exciting in the pipe and in the works that will be coming soon to Overwatch, which is called the experimental card. So we have our main play cards, as you know, there's quick play, competitive, the game browser, which we call our main play cards. Every now and then, coming in the future, you will see a card pop up that says experimental. This experimental card will be some number of changes. They might be related to hero balance. They might be related to other things. We could be testing changes to the way one of our game modes work, like the control game mode and how it works in competitive. It doesn't have to be balance related, but the experimental card will come up every now and then when we want to test something, and it will give all players of Overwatch, not just players who want to go to the PTR, but all players, including console players, will be able to use the experimental card to test changes out that we're trying as a development team. The really cool thing about the experimental card is because it is in the main game of Overwatch and not some separate public test realm, is that you'll still be leveling up your Overwatch account. You'll still get rewards. If we were running something like, if you remember way back when we had Diva's Nano Cola Challenge, and if you got 9 wins, we gave you a skin, that would apply if the experimental card was up. Those wins would count in the experimental card. So we feel like players will be rewarded. You don't have to change your behavior. It should drive a lot more players to helping us test out changes. Also, unlike the public test realm, the point of the experimental card is not stability and bug testing. That's not what we're really looking for in the experimental card. We're looking at gameplay changes and player reactions to those gameplay changes. So we really welcome all of you to check this out. It's going to take us a few weeks to get the first experimental card up, so please be patient with us. But you'll notice it when we add it to the game, and we really welcome, in addition to our PC players who have been helping us test on the public test realm, really welcome the entire console community to now help us, try out new and fun ways of playing Overwatch and providing us with feedback. Along with the experimental card, we're also going to change our balance philosophy, which is going to be balance more frequently, more aggressively, and be less concerned with trying something out and maybe pulling it back later. So that's a change. We're going to try some pretty aggressive balance changes. We are going to deliberately target the meta. Before, we used to balance with stability in mind, stability of the entire game, all players in mind. Now we are going to balance more aggressively, targeting the meta and moving you off of the meta as frequently as possible, which means some heroes might get buffed, some heroes might get some changes to make them weaker. When that happens, we might revert it a few weeks later. So be looking for this type of balancing to happen. Be looking for changes in the experimental card, some of which will never go live. So just because you see it on the experimental card doesn't mean it's going to happen in Overwatch. These are some balance changes that are going to be different and coming soon to Overwatch. And all of this is based on what we've been hearing from you. We've been hearing this is what you want. You want us to balance more frequently. You want us to target the meta. You want these changes to happen more often, and you want us to include you in the process more. So all of this is designed to address that feedback. Now, I'd like to talk about Season 21 of Competitive for a minute. Season 21 of Competitive, we are going to try something that's going to be very new and very different to help move players off of the meta, or to prevent players from stagnating on any one meta too long. Coming with Season 21, which begins in March, so you have some time to kind of prepare for this. Coming with Season 21, we will be introducing to competitive only. This will not affect quick play. It will not affect any of the arcade modes. We will be introducing hero pools. Like we have map pools, what hero pools mean is for that week, and the hero pool will only last for 1 week, and then there will be a new hero pool. There will be some heroes that will not be included in the hero pool. For example, in the first week of the hero pool, let's say Season 21 had just started, maybe Orisa, Sigma, Mei, and Moira are not in the hero pool. So players will have to think of a new strategy that doesn't involve those heroes, and that will last for 1 week, and then the hero pool will change. Again, this is competitive only. This is targeted at keeping the meta fluid, or the meta from stagnating, and really getting to more hero diversity. Now, we know there's some challenges with this concept. This is what I would consider to be something that we would be willing to change if we don't feel like it's going correctly. We could make the hero pools last longer. We can make the hero pools move faster. We can make the hero pools change every match. There's all sorts of ways that we could adjust on this, but starting with Season 21, we're going to start it with a weekly hero pool. Very exciting is that the Overwatch League is excited about this idea as well, and they will be implementing a version of hero pools as well. And the Overwatch League will be releasing a blog describing how they approach hero pools. And they were very excited to see the meta moving more frequently also. Also just want to say how excited for the 2020 season, which is starting soon for the Overwatch League. We all are. So as you can see, there's some very big changes coming to Overwatch. As always, we are listening to you. And if we feel like any of these things aren't working out well, we're always open to change and iteration. We have that experimental card. We have hero pools coming to Season 21. Now, that's not all. As always, there's a huge anti-cheat effort going on. It's in my best interest and the game's best interest not to discuss the details of what's happening for anti-cheat, but we have some major things in the next 2 patches going in to address anti-cheat. And as always, all of the reports are super helpful to us. Please keep those coming. We really love your help with anti-cheat. We have a big workshop update, which we'll be releasing either a blog post or a forum post about, so you can read all of the details there. And then there's some other just really fun quality of life things that are coming down the pipe. Pretty soon there's going to be some great improvements to replays. You're going to be able to pin a replay. So if one of your 10 replays is very special to you and you want to save it for that patch, you can pin it and always go back to it. And we're working on the ability for you to share your replays with other players where they could play your replay in their version of Overwatch. I think this will be really fun for content creators in particular. You'll be able to do some really cool things with some shared replays from your communities. I think that will be really great. We've got some quality of life improvements coming to the career profile that some of you have been asking for ages. So career profile is going to get a major overhaul for Overwatch 2, but that's way further down the pipe. That's not in the immediate future. But for the current Overwatch game, we want to do a light refresh of the career profile and just kind of clean up some of those things that have been bothering a lot of us for some time. So in the meantime, we're going to have some things like the ability to sort player icons coming to the career profile in the next few months. So that's a lot of what we're working on for the live game right now. I know you're going to give us a ton of feedback, and I can't wait to hear it all. We're really excited, I think the most of all for this experimental card, because it will let so many of you help us make the game better. Thank you for everything, and let's hope we have a great 2020.
All right, so all in all, there's a lot to talk about. So I've got the, honestly, I think it's just going to be easier to, give me 1 second. It's going to be easier to do it this way. I'm just going to throw it on a Google Doc and just going to go over everything. I'm going to be referencing a couple points here and there for a couple things. I'm going to turn some music on so it's not just my boring, tired voice the entire time. Let me just do this. Okay, that can go away. So, first... That's good. Okay. So, there was a lot to talk about from this developer update, and it's pretty huge, actually. So first is the experimental card. And by the way, I'm just going to pull up this. So you guys are going to be able to see it. I'm just going to pull up the... By the way, follow me on Twitter if you don't. Pretty sure Fitzy put it on Twitter. He did this kind of system, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be referencing this, this thing here and there. And that's also how I'm basing mine. So, first is the experimental, and what I like about it, I'm just gonna do it in different fonts, so we can, or not fonts, but colors, to say what I like, what I don't like. What I like is that they are listening to the community. Right. That's pretty important. It's always nice to know that your developers are listening to you. Since the case of Fortnite, Epic was really listening to their... This is so bright. Oh my god. Anyway. Epic with Fortnite, they were listening to the creators, the community, the normal players, casual players, and they were making changes accordingly, and that was really good. 2, what I also like is that it's going to leave opportunities open for new metas. So we're gonna get to see what's gonna be strong, what's not gonna be strong, and we'll be able to form our opinions on what's gonna, what we need to change. You know what I mean? Okay. It's probably an extra P in there. Let's just... yeah. What I don't really like about the experimental card, and as Fitzy had on his thing, is it going to be taken seriously? Are people that use this feature, are they going to, if it's competitive, like he was saying, are people going to take it seriously like a normal competitive game? Or, are they going to really try and see what problems need to be fixed in the game or in general? So I think it's important that this is not going to be taken lightly from people in the community. And another thing is queue time. How long are we going to have to wait for that? Oh, I hit enter, but I guess I didn't. Okay, and then I'm just hitting random buttons. Queue times. How long does one have to wait to queue in? Is this going to be roll queued? If you go to experimental. I think part of the experimental should be no roll queue. You just go in and you load up. I think the only problem with that is what if you want to play DPS in the experimental games and 3 other people DPS. I don't know. I think they need to do something, that's something that needs to be taken into consideration is the amount of time people are going to have to wait for an experimental game. But other than that, I do actually really like this feature coming. It's very interesting. And the other thing that I like, we're going to go switch back to blue here, is that it's open to everyone. So unlike PTR and stuff like that, that was only on PC, console players, their voice are going to be heard, and there's a large portion of people that play on console, don't get me wrong. I came from console, and I still, play both. And I feel like when I was on, primarily on console, it's almost like my voice didn't exist. So I like that they're taking this into consideration and that this experimental mode is going to be in every version of Overwatch, Switch, Xbox, PS4, PC, or, everything. It's going to be everywhere. So that everyone can actually weigh in their own opinions. Because I would watch people stream the PTR, and there's a difference because I can't play around with every hero. I can't play around with Orisa's Halt or Sigma's Accretion or Hanzo's Storm Arrow. All the changes that have been on PTR recently, I can't play with them, so I would just have to watch them. And obviously, there's difference between watching and playing, as we know. So I like that it's open to everyone. That everyone is going to be able to try this. That they're thinking of a reward system. They said, like with the Diva Nano Cola Challenge, they have ways to implement that. It's just, again, the thing that I really want to know is it going to be taken seriously? Alright, next is hero pools. I thought this was kind of interesting. So first, what I like about hero pools, I think it takes meta out of the question entirely. I think there's no such thing as one single meta. And it's going to lead to a lot of balance changes. There's not, I think is it not one single meta? Yeah, not one single meta. Because 1 week, Orisa, Sigma, I think they're doing it 1 tank, 1 support, 2 DPS, right? So let's say they ban Sigma for the first week. They ban Sigma, Moira, Hanzo, Mei. Right? So now our metas are going to be a little flip-flopped. What do we play? Ryan, Zarya, Reaper, and Tracer. And then your supports are going to be Ana, Lucio, or Brigitte and Baptiste, you know, you have so many opportunities. And what I like about that is that the game is not going to be boring. These hero pools last 1 week. So that means you have to play around. You have to adapt. If your character is going to be precise... It starts with a P. I can't think of the word. If your character is going to be out of the game for 1 week, you need to adapt if you want to stay in the damage role. Maybe learn how to play tank, learn how to play support. You know, there's ways in the game to learn each of these roles outside of competitive play as well. Quick play exists, the training range, custom games, workshop. There's ways out there to learn more heroes. So I think that the fact that a lot of people are getting very upset because they're saying it's the end of one tricks, yes and no. Your character is only going to be out 1 week. It's very rare that your character is going to be out for like 2 weeks in a row, or like if it was out 1 week, the second week he's back, and then he's gone the third week. I don't think that's how they're going to do it, unless a character is very, very broken. They're not going to do that. So I'm going to put this in like a purple as a both, with a question mark of one tricking, because people are gonna be very mixed about it. You know, if I was a Mei one trick, right, I have never played like anyone else. You know, every now and then I played like soldier, but I've never gone off role. I've never played any tanks, any supports, any nothing in the 3 years that the game's been out. I've only played Mei. I've got 1,000 hours on Mei. My next closest is 3 hours on Soldier, you know. That person is definitely going to have a hard time flexing and adapting to another role. And if Mei is banned for a week, you know, what are they going to do? And that's where this, that Fitzy brought up is just hopping on another account. This is bad. This is bad. This is basically smurfing and ruining games. It ruins games for people if a Mei one trick hops onto this account where he starts playing tank. Good for you, you're learning the game, but you're now ruining the game for other people because you do not know how to play this role, and you're going into competitive play to play this role with basically a lack of knowledge on the role and a lack of experience on the role. Basically, it's ruining the quality of that game in particular. In particular was the word I was looking for earlier. But if they don't have an MMR reset, I think they need to have an MMR reset too with hero pools. Because there are people that are going to hop on second accounts when their hero or heroes get banned. Okay, let's say for instance, for 1 week they ban Reinhardt and Hanzo and Widow and Ana, right? Those are like 4 heroes that I play a lot. If they ban those 4 heroes, what am I gonna do? Well, see, I'm kind of flexible. I'm learning how to play Mei, Sombra. I'm learning how to play Moira, Baptiste. You know, the point is, not everyone can be flexible in heroes. And the heroes that I'm particularly good with are not in the game. I'm probably gonna move to quick play and start learning better mechanics on certain heroes. That way, I don't have to stop playing for a week because my hero is not in the game. I think that it's another one of those things where, you know, I think there needs to be an MMR reset. I think I'm gonna put that in a question mark in that purple writing as well, because I kind of want to talk about that just a little bit longer, so we don't drag out this topic too long. But I think an MMR reset is important because there's a lot of inactive accounts that just play their 25 games to get into top 500, and then they stop playing the game. I don't think that's really fair. They took skill decay out of the game. You cannot no longer decay once you hit master, or is it diamond or masters, whatever. You will no longer decay. And that's been in the game for a while now, and a lot of people have been against that because, as I said, there are tons of people that have under 50 games played that are in top 500. You know, they play their 25 games on that roll to get top 500 on that roll. A lot of TPS players, they play 25 games. They have not touched the game in like 2 weeks now. And that's kind of not fair. I think if you're not going to bring back Decay, then you got to bring back MMR Reset as well. I think that's important because there are a lot of people that are now that the meta has changed. Orisa and Sigma are no longer meta. Those Orisa Sigma players, they don't know how to play Winston D.Va or Ryan Zarya. They aren't used to that, or they haven't played that. A lot of these newer accounts that got to top 500 because they played the meta, compared to people that didn't want to play the meta who are now masters, you know, I think there needs to be an MMR reset because a hero ban comes and Orisa gets banned. This person doesn't know how to play Reinhardt, or you have 2 Reinhardt mains on your team. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I think that they need to add with hero pools. There's gonna be a lot of people's playable flexibility is going to be tested. The game's been out for 3 years and a lot of people decided to one-trick certain heroes, which no shame to that. Some people gravitate towards characters more than others. You know, there are people that have no problems playing the different hit scan heroes. They play Widow, Ashe, Soldier, McCree. They can play those heroes. All good on that. But then there are some players that cannot play the projectile heroes like Hanzo, Mei, and Pharah. You know, they can only play Hanzo, they can only play Pharah, they can only play Mei. There's going to be, your flexibility is going to be tested once the hero pools actually comes out, but you have until March, okay? As Jeff Kaplan said, you have until March, because that's when it's going to be implemented into the game and into the Overwatch League. So you have until March. You have a whole entire month to figure that out. It is January 30th. You have a whole entire month. 28 days, whatever, same thing. So I think an MMR reset's going to be important because people are going to be lost for a little bit. Hero pools are going to come out, they're not going to know what to do, and it's going to cause chaos for a while, I think. Until people really get used to that system, there's going to be some chaos. And I'm going to put that in red. While that's not a problem of the devs, this is more of a player-based problem. There's going to be chaos. Okay? All in all, though, I, for one, I'm okay with hero pools. It's basically hero bans, which we didn't want, but done right, I think, because, yes, it's going to be random, but they're going to give us advance time when we know the next heroes that are going to be banned. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's kind of with them not one single meta. Okay. Not gonna lie. I kind of talked about the OWL hero pools. I mean, it's not really that. Next is the balance changing. I love typing. I did it again, Chad. I'm trolling. Balance changing. As Jeff said, the Overwatch team has been, you know, a little slow. If you want to define a little slow, I'm going to say very slow. Okay? We had GOATs for over 6 months. For those of you that don't know what GOATs is, that was the triple tank, triple support meta. Reinhardt, Zarya, D.Va, Brigitte, Zenyatta, Lucio. Or at a time it was Moira, Lucio, and Brigitte. We were stuck with GOATs for over 6 months, and then we had Sombra GOATs for like a couple more months, which was, you took out the D.Va for a Sombra. We had Bunker Comp for like 3 months, and then we had Double Shield for like 8 months. That's pretty slow with balance changes, dude. But they're talking about aggressive balance changes, and we've already seen them now. This month alone, make 2 changes. 2. We have seen the crumbling of Double Shield, and now the official end to Double Shield. I'll say official, because, you know, I actually saw it in some games yesterday, but it did not work as well as it did just a couple weeks ago. So I'm gonna put this in the blue fonts. Already good steps. they've already made those steps to show how aggressive they can be with changes, how fast they'll get them out. I think this month was very important for this developer update. Because let's say that they said, hey, we're going to be more aggressive with our balance changes, but they only stuck to the one change they made in the beginning of January. We'd be like, what do you mean? You know, we've been stuck on this same change that has not changed the game at all. No one was going to believe that. But the fact that they were able to, boom, they had a new patch on PTR within a week. They had that in another week, already on live servers. I'm sold. I know that they're going to stay to their word and they're going to deliver new patches and new balance changes. They also said that they're going to be focusing more on game and character balance rather than meta. This is important. What I mean by that is when GOATS was meta, they tried to nerf the crap out of characters like Reinhardt, Zarya, Diva, Moira, Lucio. They changed so many things, but they never actually got rid of GOATS until they either nerfed a character dead into the ground, or they completely made one character or two characters very strong, that being Orisa, and then the introduction of Sigma and Baptiste. You know, they were only solely focusing on trying to get rid of a stagnant meta. So, the good point I want to make here is focusing on character balance rather than meta. That's very important. The fact that I could even see it in this last patch that they outed. There's not really a set meta right now, but we don't see double shield anymore. Double shield's no longer meta because they changed the right things. And with that, they didn't just change direct counters to double shield. There were no Sombra changes, who is a counter to shields because she can hack them and get rid of them. They actually nerfed Hanzo, who is good against shields. They ended up not changing McCree, but he's good against shields. You know what I mean? Reaper, they made his damage, you know, his lifesteal go down. So yes, he's good against tanks, but he's not going to be as strong because he can't heal up 50% of his health every time he takes a shot. You know what I mean? It's very important now that they're going to be focusing on character balance. The only thing I want to see with that is Mei. Please do something about Mei. Please, Papa Jeff. Anyway. The only negative I can find with aggressive balance changing is over nerfing characters or over buffing characters. I think that this could happen. It could be potential that they pull a Doomfist again, where when Doomfist first came out, he was very strong, very powerful, very overpowered, right? And they nerfed him to oblivion. Like, he was unusable, garbage. Even the best Doomfist players were having trouble using Doomfist, right? We don't want that to happen again. You know, Overwatch has 30-something heroes in the game. You know, you want as much diversity in the game as possible. You know, you want to use these characters, you want to play with them, you know, and if you nerf one of them and you can't use them anymore, gone. A lot of people said with Sigma that they over-nerfed him, but he's still usable in games. He's just a little bit harder to use now, which, you know, good. He was a very kind of easy character to play. I'm a fan of the changes. But I just want them to make sure that they're not over-nerfing or over-buffing characters. I don't want them to nerf Reinhardt so hard that he sucks, and then they over-buff Sombra and make her unstoppable. You know what I mean? Something like that. The other thing I want them to do is listen to casual and competitive players. I spelled competitive wrong, I apologize. What I mean by this is don't just listen to one particular crowd. A lot of the people you see on the forums, on Reddit, they are more or less casual players. I think you need to listen to the people that also play the game for a living. And I'm not just talking about Overwatch League players. I'm talking about, you know, this is very important, but streamers. Streamers' words are very important. A lot of people have been playing this game for three years. And they know what they're talking about. When it comes to some changes, maybe they're wrong about some changes. You know, don't, like, take their word 100%. But if the community has a very similar problem or a change, maybe listen to it. And I imagine a lot of those casual players that are going to be on your Reddits and your forums watch these streamers and are also putting out the same comment. So I think that if they put that in their mind and start listening to that, I think that would be very important. So I think that's going to be very important. So I mean, I wouldn't put that in red, actually. I want to put that in like a purplish as like a recommendation almost. Like that. Next, so that's pretty much it about balance changing. Very good. I like that they're going to be aggressive with it. I like that there's not going to be a stale meta that we have for 6 to 8 months. Next is the anti-cheats system and cheating. If you guys have been living under a rock, there are a lot of cheaters in Overwatch. You can watch a GM player on Twitch or YouTube. I don't know how many YouTube streamers there are. I watch on Twitch, so I really don't know. I would say in about 75 to 85% of the games you see your streamer in, there is either 1 or 2 cheaters on their team or the other team. They are all over the place. If you follow Twitter, there are a couple people you can follow that have been exposing cheaters. I'm going to show you guys really quick. Good or a bad example, but yeah, Overwatch PD. He's a high rank player, and he has been finding cheaters. They just discovered a cheat last night. $800 private cheats that was not detected until now. Yeah, see, private cheat detected worth $800. Just say, cheating has been in the game for a while now, because Overwatch's anti-cheat detection system was not very good. Anyway, I just want to go back to this. I want to have that open. Cheating has been a problem in the game now for a while, but it's been more rampant than usual. And if you are if you're not new to the Overwatch community, you either love Kefri or hate the guy. He finds cheaters or people that he thinks are cheaters. He watches their VODs and their replays after the game. You might not like that. You might hate that. But I think that is important for the community. No bias. No bias. I'm not going to say whether I like the guy or hate the guy. Do I think the people he accuses are cheating or not? Not saying any of that. I think it's important, though, that people are actually paying mind to the fact that the problem exists. If you have other streamers that have these influential they are influential to their communities that don't talk about cheating in the game. What is going to happen? More people are going to cheat because no one's doing anything or saying anything about them. A lot of these cheats are undetected by Overwatch's anti-cheat system. So I think in a blue, a better anti-cheat system. And then also, mass ban wave of cheaters in the game. 1. I guarantee you, if they do a mass ban wave of cheaters in the game, top 500 will have less than 200 of the people that were in it. GM, less people in GM. A lot of those people that you see in Masters are going to go right back up to top 500 in GM because there's not cheaters in the way anymore. And I think with a better anti-cheat system, your games are going to be a little bit less suspicious. My camera has lost focus and I don't know why. Here's what we're going to do to fix that. Just going to do that. Fix, 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 fix. No? Okay. I don't know. Really, dude. What are we going to do? Just going to turn it off. Not going to distract myself. I think if we have a mass ban wave of cheaters, it's going to be very important. I think you're going to see a whole lot of new faces in top 500. Anyway, it's very important. There's not really a negative to having a better anti-cheat system, honestly. I can't find a negative to that. Next is, you know, the replay system thing that they're thinking of implementing. Good. I like it. I don't really see a negative to that. Hopefully they can put a fix out to stop bugs, because there's some bugs with the replay system. So kind of just do some fixes there. Jeff said it himself. Good for content creators, because you can share your things. Sup Saturn, what are your thoughts so far on the limited hero pool? Right here. I like it a lot. I think that there's not going to be not a single meta, but it's going to test players' flexibility. So as I talked about, one tricking with a question mark, you're going to have to be flexible. Just hopping on another account. I think they need to do an MMR reset. And just, you know, yeah. Because these two, one tricking and just hopping on another account, go together of testing players' flexibility. And then chaos. A lot of people are going to be unaware because they said with the hero pools, there's going to be, yeah, one tricks are going to drop really quick. Yes. And I made it a point to say that with an MMR reset, a lot of those people that don't have their one-trick heroes are, you know, they got to be more flexible. So I think a lot of your top 500s, you're going to see them playing heroes that they're not used to playing unless they are a flexible player. Again, replay system changes. I don't find any bugs with that. You get to pin one that you like. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, and then they had the career profile changes. Again, not really anything too bad, honestly. It's just, you know. Career profile changes, I think what's good is that it's going to be cleaned up a little bit. I like that. I like that it's going to be cleaned up a bit. I think that's pretty nice. I mean, other than that, again, something I can't really find any negatives to. It doesn't really change the game all that much. Because they're probably still going to keep private profiles. Which, you know, yay, we don't know what you play. That's the other thing. Actually, for hero pools, I just thought of this. Because of this topic. I'm going to put it in purple because it's kind of a recommendation. In all caps, get rid of private profiles. All of your one tricks that are going to be playing the game when their hero is not in the game, and they private their profile because they don't want you to see that they're a Mei one trick, but Mei's not playable and they're on the DPS role. You have to get rid of private profiles. If you want to change the state of the game, private profiles need to go. Because teams have to play around you. If I am a Widowmaker Ashe 2-trick and both of those heroes happen to not be playable this week, and I decide to play Hanzo, that's going from hit scan to projectile, and I'm not comfortable with projectile. But my team knows this, so they say, hey man, you mind playing Soldier? That's a hit scan. You're a hit scan player. And we're going to play around you a little bit. You know, our other DPS is going to try to pick up some slack. He's really good on Hanzo. Or, you know, we're going to play close together. And you could play, you could play Reaper. We'll play close together. We'll have a Mei. We'll wall off their tanks. You go in there and you slam them, dude. Like, there are so many ways that you can get around having bad games. But there's private profiles, so you don't know what that person is comfortable playing or not. So yeah, those two kind of go together, actually. But I think other than that, yeah, we got everything. I didn't really talk all hero pools. I kind of just talked about normal hero pools. But I'm a big fan of this developer update. I think it's leading us to have some good hype in the immediate future. I think that the game is really going in the right direction. I am indeed a big fan of this patch. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know. This video is going to be on YouTube too as well. So if you guys do come across this, come down and put your thoughts in the comments. I think that this is a very good start. I think this is really heading us to the right direction. Just give me 1 second, okay? Can't wait to test out my flexibility. Yeah, me too. Okay, it's gonna sound dumb. Never mind. Just figure it. Anyways, if you guys are from YouTube, I'm gonna have my Twitch in the description below, so you guys can come and click on that link, and then tell me you guys came from the YouTube video, and tell me your guys' thoughts while I'm streaming, because I'll probably be streaming all night tonight. So you guys can come on in and let me know. I'm super excited. I'm super happy. I think that they're really listening to us, and they really want to change the game. They want this game to last more. You know, the game's been out for 3 years. They want this game to last more than that. So I'm super proud of what they have accomplished and all of that. So anyway, if you guys do come from YouTube, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in stream.